Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Tactical Bananas with your host, Toluca Bazooka, and special guest, Carlos, aka Jesse Rodriguez, mixtape producer.
It's not going well for us, brother.
He's
I'm
yet
trying.
to
Yeah,
drop that debut mixtape. I heard Birdman is holding him up, not letting him release it too. But
yeah. When I introduced him to Birdman, I forgot that this motherfucker doesn't speak Spanish. So
he was just there rubbing his hands.
yeah, we're over there, and I left them alone. And when I came back, they hadn't said two fucking words to each other. It's a rough business to be in.
Damn, I can't imagine. But yeah, let's get into it. Today we're going to be discussing what it is about Morata that just for some reason, it looks like he has not been given a fair chance. He has not been trusted enough to be numero uno at Madrid. Instead, Benzema has always been the choice. And if you look back to even before Morata got into the picture, when it was Benz and Higuain, Benzema was still number one, even though he is better than Higuain in every facet of the game, barring the fact that they both share the horrible finishing or inconsistent finishing. But that's not. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah,
we
would spend another hour talking about
that. Yeah. But yeah, we're just trying to know what, I don't know what it is about Morata. And as we start, I just want to say, even in Juventus, even though I remember when he first left for Juventus, and it's like right after the transfer window, he already picked up a foot injury and was out for 50 days. So he didn't start the season off, as well. But then he came back and was, starting here and there. And then his second season, all of a sudden, here comes this little Argentinian guy that, people have been raving about from Parma. And then, bam, Morata goes straight to the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And then comes back to Madrid and again is back on the bench, riding the pine, dragging Benzema's dirty laundry. And yeah. So what do you think, man?
Well, I mean, obviously I agree with you. I would almost argue that unfortunately here at Real Madrid, he's never really been able to get the opportunity. I feel like he's just never, there's always been someone ahead of him, which is Benzema. Unrightfully so, I think when you have two prolific strikers, and you mentioned Higuain, I agree. You had at the time two strikers. Yeah, was one more, versatile than the other? Yeah, but at the same time, Mourinho never, he always had Benzema first. Even when he would criticize him, Benzema always ended up in the starting lineup. And Higuain would come in and he would do those last-minute goals that everybody would lose their mind about. I would too. And then obviously Higuain left. Morata never really got his shine. He was barely coming up at the time. And at Juventus, it never clicked for him. Even though he played a decent enough first season. Remember, he kicked us out of the fucking Champions League. Yeah. The bastard. I mean, but like you said, Dybala outshined him there, and they brought him back over here. I feel like obviously looking at the numbers, his second season here was better than any other season that he's played.
Right.
He played more minutes. He got more goals in. He started more matches. And it was, thanks to Zidane. Thanks to Zidane and his rotation policy, who told him, you know what, hang out and you'll get more playing time. If you look at the other subs, Morata, I feel like he got more playing time than James. He got more playing time. Maybe he didn't start as much as Vasquez and Asensio. I mean, maybe he didn't feature in every game like Vasquez and Asensio, but I think he started more games than Vasquez and Asensio. I feel like he got more time to shine. And against the smaller teams, I mean, he did what he had to do. So, like I was telling you off air, I feel like we're at the point now where I would really like to see a season where Morata is ahead of Benzema. The only way that that's going to happen is if Benzema fucking leaves. So that's what I would like. I don't know. How do you see the 2018 season shaping out when it comes to our forwards?
When it comes to our forwards, honestly, like I also agree. And when I say I'd like to see Benzema leave, I know that of course the Benzema fans that are gonna
Who?
look.
Where are they at? Show them to me. I don't see them.
I know. I mean, I know there's gonna be people out there that gonna take it the wrong way and look at it as
I understand.
yeah, we're part of that faction that just wants him out of the club. No, 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 no. Like I said before, Benzema has, he served the club well, but he is 29. He's not gonna get any better. And once he hits 30, that's when the clock starts ticking even faster
Right.
than it did when he was 29. So, like yeah, I also agree. I'd like to see Morata given a fair chance. And speaking back to when you were talking about if he's played more games than James, he has. As of last season, he played 43 games, whereas James played 32. So, and he managed to bag 20 goals coming from the bench and yada yada yada. But as far as like where our strikers position is headed, yeah, man. We need to keep the young policy. Yes, Benzema is old, he's experienced, but Morata too is experienced and needs to be given a fair shot. If
Do you
Benzema,
feel? Oh,
what
go ahead.
I was gonna say, if Benzema is sold, honestly, I am all for like promoting our youth. I'd like to see Morata and Mariano, being the two main strikers.
Yeah.
Mariano coming in every now and then, yeah, for Morata, because I'd like to, I'd like people to see that Madrid has one of the best youth academies in Europe, hands down. Even though Barca has taken the glory from '09 to 12, but man, that gravy train stopped. The day they started buying Neymar and Suarez and Arda Turan and all these guys. And now I think our Castilla is getting up there. But yeah,
No,
what were you
yeah,
gonna say?
definitely. It's flourishing. Well, what I was gonna ask is, do you think that regardless of what happens over the summer, we're not gonna be happy? Like, I feel like whatever changes, and we'll talk about them right now. Obviously, whatever possibilities there are, how the team shapes up in the striker department. I have a gut feeling that at the end of the season, by the time August comes around, knowing this club, and again, what you and I were talking about off camera, uh, we're not going to be happy with the way that it turns out. There's always going to be something. Like I don't like the idea of selling Morata. I don't like
Mhm.
the idea of keeping Benz, but obviously one or the other is going to happen.
Yeah, somebody, because this team needs balance. At best, when the transfer window is closed, we need to have no more than two strikers. That is a must. Even though I got the feeling Mariano too could be on his way out, seeing as he doesn't play much. He's like third string, and you know there's Morata, and now there's Benzema. But I mean, I do agree. Like you said, at the end of the transfer window, we're not gonna be happy. But at this point, I think every Madrid fan should have been prepped by now for like departures, for like the players that are gonna leave, as like with number one and number two being James and Morata. I think
But it seems
everyone.
kind of
Yeah.
like we're bleeding out almost. We're not just losing one big player. We're losing the possibility of us losing a decent amount of players. I mean, we're already losing for sure. We're losing Pepe. You
He's
know,
gone. He's gone as of now. He's gone. His contract is over. It's done. Finished.
so we might lose Kaler, but Kaler could be replaced with somebody just as big. But at the same
hmm
time, we have an overstocked midfield. So losing James, that's one thing. Obviously, we're keeping Isco. Do you see anybody else? Obviously, not Luca or Tony Casemiro staying. Or do you think maybe we might lose another midfielder?
I highly doubt it, and I highly doubt that we're gonna. I know for a fact James is. I mean, I would be shocked if James is still here come September. This 2017. But as far as losing another midfielder, no, not really. Mm-mm. Other than James, no. There's been talks of
Because
Madrid
we're
trying.
bringing back the Llorente brothers. One of them plays a defense and one of them plays in the middle, right?
Yeah, I think we're only bringing back one of them
Oh, okay.
from what, and that's the one that plays in midfield, the DM. I think that's the
Okay.
only one that the club is bringing back. And as far as the defense, I think the club is also bringing back Vallejo. So the other Lorente brother, I think he might go out on loan again, and it'd be nice to bring him back if Nacho does decide to leave.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or if he's fine, if or unless
I
he's
mean,
fine with
that's
his current role.
barring any other transfers that we're not necessarily looking at right now, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, I mean, if one of them just randomly decides to go, Nacho is one that we even talked about that last season. You know, when he was getting the offers from Roma, we knew that it was a possibility that he might go. But when it comes to the middle and attack, you know, bringing back those youth academy players, like you said, which is essential to our growth, it also, you know, kind of rips apart the signings that we have already. You know, like I'm afraid for Kovacic now. You know, obviously, Luka Modric, he gets rested every once in a while, and that's fine. Cruz likes playing every fucking game, so that's fine. But, you know, at the same time, when it comes to up front, I'm almost afraid, like I was telling you, I'm almost afraid of getting 60-70 for Benzema. I'm sorry, for Morata, getting 60-70 for James, and these motherfuckers going and saying, all right, now we're going to buy Mbappe. You know, now we're going to try to buy Dybala. You know, now we're going to try to buy a star. We need a star. And disregarding the talent that we bring back from loan.
That is true, but from what I've read, I don't think the club is going to buy any other midfielder. The only midfielder that's coming in is Lorente, the DM, who's coming back from loan. There's been numerous talks about Madrid buying that 20-year-old dude from Real Betis.
The Ceballos kid?
Yeah, which I'm like, that's just extremely pointless.
Yeah,
But
I understand wanting to have, you know, your pick of the litter, but unless you're gonna keep him on fucking loan for another year or two, I really don't see what's the point.
exactly, unless the club is gonna go retarded and sell Modric or one of them, and then
No, I feel
uh-huh.
like Modric, you know, Modric deserves to stay another even from the bench. A player like that can do so much, you know. Like kind of like Barcelona when they needed Xavi, I'm sorry, when they needed Iniesta off of the bench, you know, he would come in and he would deliver.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if he wouldn't change the outcome of the game, the guy was a presence in the midfield, controlled everybody. I feel like he was really good off of the bench this season. You
It
know, and
was.
when they needed him to start, they put his ass to start. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
I kind of would like to see Modric take that role. But when it comes to the strikers, I like the idea of keeping Morata and Mariano as the two strikers. I know most clubs have three, but you've referenced this a lot of times, and I really like that scenario playing out where we keep Morata, we keep Mariano, and every once in a while throw Cristiano in there. You know, every once in a while play Cristiano as a number 9.
Just like last season.
Yeah,
But
and
then
oh, go ahead.
but then you have to like think. Then there's Gareth Bale, and
Man, fuck Gareth Bale, homie.
that's where things just get complicated, and it's like
Yeah,
it's too much to
no,
cram. Yeah.
yeah. Well, Gareth Bale, I feel like, you know, due to his injuries and due to the team rotation policies, I
Mm-hmm.
almost felt like it was impulsive, you know, to say, "Oh fuck, we don't need him." And obviously, while he's the kind of striker that, I mean, the kind of player that can play basically for any fucking team in the world, since he's came, our success level speaks for itself. You know, you can't attribute the very this most recent Champions League to him, but the fact that we've won 2 out of 3 Champions Leagues since he's came, like I said, barring this last season, you know, is no easy feat. You know, dude played his
It
ass
is.
off. Dude played his ass off the first season. You know, he contributed to the team from beginning to end. You remember his second season, he had a little dip in form. Third season,
Huge dip.
well, yeah,
Huge dip,
yeah, it
man.
was that second season curse.
Woo!
And
God, yeah.
third season, you know, he was there with the whole team. He played the fucking final 120 minutes, you know. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like he was a huge part of that Champions League success. This last season, it's all, you know, if you have to really credit it to somebody, how do you not credit it to Cristiano? But maybe we could have him stay for another season. That's a player that I wouldn't like to see go. for the sake of, if we don't need to sell them, we shouldn't sell them. You know, and it seems like James is a player that just has to go because obviously he's not going to get what he needs here.
And
Morata,
he's too good to be sitting down on the bench too.
yeah, Morata's going to have to go because he obviously, you know, he's not getting what he needs here. So if we're going to get rid of players like that, I would like to keep Gareth Bale.
Speaking of Gareth Bale, there's like been I don't trust this at all, but there's like, if you can just Google him and then type PSG next to his name, you see like a really crazy report about PSG bidding 180 million for him. If there's any truth in that, take that. What I'm taking that money and running.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
Gareth, come on, man. Yeah, we gotta go pack your stuff, man.
Bye.
You going to France tonight?
Yeah, your family's over there already. He's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, you going to France? You can take the golf course. You can take the cards. You should, man. Yeah, but I don't.
No,
I don't
absolutely.
yeah.
You're totally right, and that's crazy money, man. PSG. I think they're gonna have to learn the hard way. You know, a lesson that Real Madrid learned, and maybe they haven't completely learned, but money isn't gonna solve all your problems. You know,
Speaking.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Well, yeah, like I don't get me wrong. To be in a position where you can build your own star-studded squad, that's an envious position. But sooner or later, you're gonna have to understand, dude. I mean, money's not gonna solve everything for you. And being like you and I, we're part of a team that we've had to learn that the hard way.
Damn right.
You know,
we've had to, yeah.
So I would expect other teams to kind of, you know, learn from that. You know, instead of shelling out almost 200 million for a fucking player, why not shell out some decent money and get Joaquin Lowe? You know, why not shell out decent money and get a good coach, get somebody that can build everything from the ground up. You buy a bunch of fucking star-studded players and you give them to Unai Emery, who might not even stay this season. But, you know, don't be surprised if you don't get the results that you're looking for.
Speaking of that, the clubs like PSG and Manchester United, Manchester City, sorry, these are like wannabe Real Madrids. Because they have like ridiculous ambitions when they do not have the players and they do not have the coach to match and or achieve those ambitions.
And don't get me wrong, when you look at it, it's actually pretty cool, you know, to be a billionaire from the UAE and say, you know what, dude, I'm gonna buy this fucking team and I'm gonna, you know, put my favorite players down. That's lucky, you know, that's awesome, that's blessed. But at the same time, I feel like why don't they build a better training staff? Why don't they build, you know?
Exactly. Like what they have over in AS Monaco. You know, that club too is owned by another Russian billionaire.
Yeah, and like instead of him just buying billion-dollar players, they invest in the youth academy. They invest in coaches, medical
the youth
staff.
Scouts.
Yeah,
all that stuff. I don't. Especially like Manchester City. You know, they just bought Bernardo Silva. Dude that is like playing backup in Porto for like 60-something million, most expensive British transfer ever. Like, what the man?
No, yeah.
Like he hasn't done anything to even be worth that. But then again, it's the Portuguese league, and you know how the transfers with these third parties go. Sometimes the club is not even the one asking for that money. Majority of that money is going to some dude in Brazil.
Right.
That kind of stuff. But man, I don't know. Like you said, yeah, they need to like invest in like the youth scouts, their youth academy, and build from there. And incorporate them in a starting XI instead of just buying and spending 80 million every damn month on some player because you can, and you're trying hard to match Madrid and Barca in talent and and acquisitions, and at the end of the day it doesn't translate in the Champions League. It doesn't translate in performance whatsoever. Your team still gets battered and destroyed and just wrecked by like all the other teams that know what it is, know what it takes to actually build a team and perform like one.
Right. And I don't know the inner workings of how you know, even a team like Real Madrid, you know, necessarily functions. But I would assume that Florentino being the president, I would assume he cannot just walk into a boardroom and say, "All right, motherfuckers, you know, we're buying Dybala. Fuck it, let's do it. We're buying Dybala," and everyone has to, you know, just shut up and listen. And I don't know if that's the case with these privately owned teams like Monaco, like Manchester City. You know, where maybe these guys, they have no one to answer to, so they say, "All right, I'm just gonna buy this, I'm gonna pay that," and that's it. So if that's the case, I almost don't see this trend stopping, you know, because who's there to tell them anything?
Yeah, it's not. And you know what's funny? I think, and I know for a fact that's actually how it is in Madrid, because Florentino, for the longest time, he what is he disabled the sporting director
Right.
position. We're like practically the only top club in the entire universe without a sporting director, which means Florentino is the one making every decisions. He's the one, making all the transfers. He's the one, doing all the deals and talking with all the agents and all that stuff. He is right there in everything. Has confirmed it. He talks a lot to the players. He's always around them. He's like every aspect of it. He's in there. So he has no one to answer to and no one to look at him and say, "Dude, this is not going to be cohesive." Which is why sometimes, like you've seen, we've ended up with what two number 10s, and we've have to convert one of them or convert both of them into central midfielders because
Yeah, like
again.
Isco and
It's going,
James.
yeah, like because again, he doesn't know these things. He doesn't know about tactics and like formation. We're using a 4-3-3, and you're gonna buy a number 10. Like, where is he gonna play? Now the
Mm-hmm.
coach has to either remodel or change the formation or convert the player and teach him an entirely new role from what he's used to excelling at, and it's just like creates a can of worms. But somehow, thank God we have Ancelotti. We had Ancelotti, who was a very, very smart man and could do that with Isco. But again,
Fortunately, where we stand right now, fortunately, it looks like Zidane and Florentino's relationship kind of comes with a mutual respect. I mean, I don't believe, that Florentino allows Zidane to do whatever the hell he wants.
I don't believe that either.
But I do believe that, there's enough respect there given Zidane's history at the club, not only as a player, but also, being part of the staff, being there for a long time with them. I do believe that there's a level of trust there, to where I would hope that if Zidane goes, "You know what, man, we don't need this guy. Maybe it's a good idea to sell him," or, "You know what, I like that guy. Maybe we can buy him." I do believe that there's a little bit of a relationship there that maybe wasn't there before with any of the other coaches.
Speaking of that, from what I remember, the only coach that has been granted like full transfer authority over the squad till this day remains Jose Mourinho. That's the only guy that he decided who came in and who came out, because I think he had it in his contract. He had full control of the squad, and if he had continued to have his way, Iker Casillas would have been out of the club like practically before 2012, or yeah.
Right.
But yeah, because if you've noticed during that time period, Madrid we're not buying Galacticos. I think the most expensive transfer to date for Mourinho is Luka Modric for like 40 mil from Tottenham.
Yeah, because Ozil came in super cheap.
Yeah,
he got Ozil for super. We get these German players for cheap, man. Awesome.
God damn, it must be some like it's like the right circumstances and the right time, and Madrid just bags him. Cruz wanted to leave Bayern Munich. Here comes Madrid with some like chump change,
Yeah.
25 mil.
Khedira at the time had a good season at the World Cup. Ozil was the breakout star, and Real Madrid's just there right on time. I mean, the Toni Kroos transfer caught me personally by surprise.
Yeah, we kind of did to Bayern what they like have been doing to BVB. Just when they got Lewandowski for free, when they got Goatee like for like 30 mil, half price. When, in my opinion, when we got Tony Cruz, he was like one of the top rated CMs, versatile CMs in the entire world. And and I think this is like a 50 million player at that time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
50
At the
million.
time, at least
We
40,
got him for
50.
like, yeah, we got him for like half price. I'm like, God, even and today now he in this inflated market, no, he's no doubt worth over 100 million. He's still young and has won a lot and he's still going. So yeah, now it's like,
Yeah, that's the type of player that could have gone for Pogba money.
yeah, and
You
today,
Yeah,
he could've,
easily he could have gone for Pogba numbers.
but
So
yeah, that is true. What going on?
let me ask you this, man. I'm a big fan of Dybala, just big fan. Okay, who would you prefer to have if we had to buy one? I know you and I, we don't want to buy anyone this summer, but who would you prefer to have as your striker? Because these motherfuckers aren't coming to play backup. Would you prefer to spend 110 on Mbappe or get Dybala for 80, 90?
Get Dybala for 80, 90. Seeing as it's Madrid, they can buy both in the same summer. And then maybe, yeah, we already know Perez can make it rain. I mean, come on, he got Ronaldo, Benzema, Xavi, and Kaká all in the same transfer. Like, whoa, he did that 2009. He was making it rain left, right, and center. He was coming out the bando with the choppers. He was going bazooka. It's like pop.
Yeah, where was he when I needed to pay child support, dude? Fuck. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't pay child support.
I know. But yeah, I definitely take Dybala. Even though I think Mbappe is like equally talented and like way younger and already has is already like gaining massive amounts of experience. But
he's a champion.
Yeah,
he's a champion.
He's a champion too. Yeah, but Dybala too is also a champion. He's also won a lot with Juventus, and as they can just sleep the entire Serie A season and wake up with the trophy at the end of May. But
I think that's why it's hard for me. To really. I mean, I look at Juventus and I see a threat season in, season out. I see Bayern Munich and I see a threat season in, season out. But something about their inability to really conquer outside of their own, league.
Domestic, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't sit right with me. I mean, the way that they just run through their league, we can't even do that. So I feel like that's more of a credit to us as a team, that the leagues aren't one easy, and our leagues aren't one easy, and we have 2 or 3 major teams, killing it in Europe right now. Obviously, Atletico didn't have their best season, but they were there. Celta Vigo went to the Europa League semifinals. We have, I feel like hands down, we have the better leagues.
We do, because our teams are killing it all around in Europe, Champions League and Europa League. But like you said, yeah, that little I don't know if it's a mental block with Juventus and their inability to do the same in the Champions League. Although I know we have to give them credit too. They've also reached 2 Champions League finals in the last 3 years and have only lost out to the Spanish teams.
Yeah,
and they've also, so that's we have to give them credit for that too.
Bayern Munich as well.
Bayern Munich, yes.
They're major players, and there's no denying that. So I mean, I agree with you. I would rather have Dybala. Dybala is just, there's something about him, dude. There's something about the way that motherfucker plays that. Jesus Christ, dude. I would love to have him on my fucking team.
Yeah. Hey, I would love to have him too, because he is exactly the type of like hybrid striker that that is needed to function in a team with Ronaldo and Bale. Which is why I think Benzema continues to get the nod over the likes of Higuain and Morata, because he's that 9.5. He's almost he's almost a number 10, but a number 10 with the ability to score, with the ability to be in the right spots, the finishing. He's almost a number 10. It's like
also
a striker.
his set pieces, his corners, his free kicks, everything that he does, dude, is just incredibly awesome.
Yeah, and he has the pace, the work rate. Yeah, what are you on?
No, yeah, well, that's what I was saying. He does so many things well, and I like that. I like that. Once Higuain was bought, I mean, I was afraid. I was like, well, good thing that we got Morata back because he was just gonna rot over there. And I felt like Dybala was gonna leave too. I felt like, well, why would Dybala leave? I mean, why would he stay? He's young. He's a star. He's gonna get bigger. Why would he stay to play second fiddle to him? But big props to the coach for being able to fit so much attacking talent into that lineup, man.
Yeah, fit both of them. That is crazy. If you notice, Juventus is practically like one of the most nationally united teams because you have Dybala and Higuain up top who are also Argentinian, who are also from Argentina, and then you have Dani Alves and
Alexandro,
who are also from Brazil, and then Bonacci and Sco. Like
Chiellini, yeah.
yeah, like there's like two of each nations in there versus other teams where it's like everyone from all over the world coming together to try and being forced to learn the same language and communicate and all that. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you look at it. What Allegri is doing, a great coach, man. Beautiful. Like it's crazy how these guys like come up with these things.
Yeah, year in and year out. I feel like if we're being realistic though, the possibility of us buying Dybala is
Another
very
striker.
very low. I feel like this is the kind of team that's going to go for Mbappe if he becomes available.
Speaking of Mbappe, like I said, in my opinion, he's not worth that insane amount of money.
You think he can rap?
Is being highly doubted. Let's see if he can even speak English.
Damn it.
But yeah, I don't think he's worth
I'm
because
looking to get rid of Jesse. I'm looking to sell him.
Yeah, you need another artist for your label.
Hell yeah, dude, we're struggling. No, yeah, it's crazy.
Hit.
Where do you think Mbappe's number came from, man?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. He just came out of nowhere and just starting on the regular. He's 18, scoring 20 something goals in his breakout debut season. And again, I've said it before. I don't think he's worth that kind of money because it's his first season. And
Yeah.
this is the generation of just where one season and one player is worth like 50 million already, which is just ridiculously stupid because and then people are already calling him world class. Like, no, in my opinion, Dybala, Mbappe needs to build consistency. If he has another season like the one he had last season, then yes, I'd say okay, we've got something here.
Even Pogba had more than one consistent season.
Yeah, so yeah, he's worth his money. Yeah.
Even Pogba, well, yeah, I mean, he went for good money, and Real Madrid were looking to buy him. I just felt like at the end of the day, I'm glad because we would have to give up either, Modric or Cruz, so we decided not to. But even Pogba had to prove himself for more than one season, and he capped off with a Champions League final. This guy, as talented as he is, and as I almost feel more comfortable splashing a lot of money on the AC Milan goalie. Not as much, obviously, but if we're going to put down some decent money for a player that we're going to give multiple seasons to, that over time is going to get better and better, I almost feel more comfortable going with a goalie than a striker.
That is, yeah. This is like, man, I think this transfer window is like going to be so crucial because Taylor is in his 30s and Karim Benzema is in his 30s.
Modric
going on in the back. Yeah, like and then what do you know? We have two teenage players that are like first team starters in for their respective teams who are in the same positions where we can just sign them up and we would never have to go buy another striker ever again. So it's crazy. Then again, we also have like that kid Sergio Diaz in the Castilla, who I think he's about to turn 18, who's killing it, man. But
didn't we just buy a Brazilian striker not that long ago too?
Yeah, Vinicius
Junior, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's more. I almost feel like those are kind of problems that we'll get to when we get there.
Yeah,
they're not necessarily problems that we have to deal with now. I do agree with your point, though. When it comes to the transfer window, this transfer window, I feel like is going to be an issue of the board and Florentino and Zidane kind of saying, look, man, if we don't get this player now, whether it be A, B, or C, someone else will.
Pretty much, yeah.
You
Someone
know,
else will.
and this seems like almost the perfect season to go on a shopping spree. I just hope that our team doesn't go for it, you know. But being realistic, I don't see how they don't, especially if they offload, you know, players
One
or
or
what.
two players in.
Yeah, how do they not? You know, you're killing your depth, which is one of the biggest reasons why we were so successful this season, in my opinion, was that we had depth.
And yeah, and the fact that Zidane actually used that depth
Right.
to where like everyone was on form, regardless of, you know, if they've been on the bench for 1 month or, you know, like that. You know, when they got on the pitch, you know, it was on,
So
barring Danilo, but yeah.
so when you look at players like, from what I understood, there was a report that I read a week ago where Donnarumma might. I think you and I we talked about it. We might get him for free since
Yeah,
he's
he has
not
1 more year. Yeah.
doing his extension.
Hmm.
But David De Gea is on the other side, just begging to be picked up, begging to be swooped in.
We don't need the gear, man. He's like 27. If we buy him, he'll be 28 before we know it, and then we're already looking for a replacement. So nah, we should have just let that die. Let somebody else get him. He already has Champions League football too to look forward to next season. So yeah, unless he just wants to come to Spain.
Yeah, I feel like the idea of having, you know, the Spanish goalie just sits well with me, since we had Iker
Hmm.
for so damn long.
Hmm.
But you are right. It's almost getting to the point where we're gonna be saying, well, what's the point? Would you rather splash money on De Gea for another, what, 3 to 4 years, or keep Navas for another year, or just put good money down on Donnarumma and keep him for the next 10
Yeah, I
at
think.
least?
Yeah, I think like Navas, in my opinion, he has like at least a good 2 3 years left in him, and it breaks my heart to see how people are already talking about DDG and Navas needs to be sold, because I'm like, come on, we just won back-to-back Champions League with this guy, and he
But
hasn't been here that long, man.
I think it all comes down to, if we don't get player XYZ now,
Yeah, Barca,
someone else
somebody's
will.
gonna buy him. Yeah,
You know, I think that's the issue that we're dealing
that's
with,
yeah,
in today's day and age.
yeah. It's
Did you
kind
see,
of
off topic, but did you see highlights of Taylor's Costa Rica game?
no, I know they won, but I
Ooh,
didn't
no,
see it.
dude. He did some gangster saves, dude. Look it up.
Yeah, well,
Look it up
I'll
whenever
check
you
it
get a
out.
chance. Gangster ass saves, dude. There was one where he did a Casillas style save from like 10 years ago, dude. He blocks
Woo.
one, blocks two, blocks three. It was wild, dude. I almost came.
That Costa Rican defense must have been shit, making them do all those saves
Yeah,
in
I
that
still
short
look
span.
back and you know, when they beat Spain in the World Cup, I almost looked at them like, damn, this is a team that I need to pay attention to. But I'm almost afraid that it had more to do with Spain's decline
Yeah,
than Costa Rica's, uprising. You
it's
know what
yeah,
I'm
it's probably,
saying?
yeah. It's probably like a mixture of both. With VDB refusing to bring in fresh legs and take his old dogs with him, thinking he'd get the same results. Well, he got a rude awakening. So
Yeah.
hopefully, you know, he's also out of the picture too, so we don't have to worry about Xavi starting every match ever, even when he's 40. But and you and like, have you thought about this? But it's crazy though. Like, our bench player Morata is worth 70 million. This
It's
is a guy
ridiculous.
guy that doesn't even start regularly, and he is. That just shows you how fucked up the transfer market is today, and how insanely inflated it is. The minute he goes on the market, he's already worth like 70 million, man, and he's
How
riding
much,
the pine.
considering that, how much would you rate Benzema at?
Benzema, you know, he's 20, he's 29. He's good every now and then. Like a good 40 million just for profit, even though we bought in for like 30.
40?
Yeah, I'd rate him at
40,
40.
yeah, 40 is not bad. I think in today's market, and considering that you can put the label of Champions League winner on
Yeah.
him, I feel like we can get him for a good 50, 60. You know,
To Juventus, yeah.
maybe not
They get
60, but yeah. I mean, Juventus has a tendency to make good
buy old players.
and make them work. Yeah,
Damn right.
look at fucking Mario, dude. You know, Mandzukic, he came through to Juventus, and that's a guy that's played practically everywhere. You know, players like Mario, you know, they've played in Bayern Munich, they've played for Atletico Madrid. Now he's in Juventus, and he's still a high-profile player. But yeah, it's crazy to think that Morata can go for 70, dude.
And he's
I
on
mean,
the bench too. That's
and with James, we're taking an L. Obviously, I'd like to keep him, but you know, 70 million for James, I still don't think is bad money. Like you said, when you look at some of these offers, even and I don't want to light anybody on fire, but when you look at what people are offering for Cristiano Ronaldo now, I still don't see how you don't just take that money and run, man.
for Cristiano.
Every year, yeah, every
Never,
year.
never. Cristiano and Messi are the two players you never sell, even if your club is in a financial drought. Even though that will never happen when you have players like Cristiano or Messi bringing in millions, millions, and millions of revenue. Like these are two players you just never sell, regardless of if they have a bad 5 months. You just never sell them.
No, yeah,
Never.
I understand that, but considering the fan base that we have, you know, and I'm guilty of it too. I'm guilty of it too. Where a player will have, like you said, a couple of bad months, and I'm like, fuck, dude, is this it? But Cristiano's the type of player that year after year, no matter how much older he gets, no matter how you know, no matter what, he just keeps improving and improving. And this season, while his stats didn't necessarily improve, he was as important as ever. So you genuinely believe that there's never going to be a right time to cash in on him?
Never. Now until he like hits 35 or 36. That's when I think we should just let him have his legend farewell, and he can go play in Qatar somewhere and earn or China and take home 100 million every season.
I
But
understand what you're saying, man, but I don't know, dude. I mean, just when you think about a player like that going for what you can go for him for, I feel like you said, it would, and I don't feel like I'm coming from the perspective of, oh, sell him, he's old, or sell him, he sucks, because he's going for another Ballon d'Or this year, hands down. I just genuinely look back and feel like there is no better time to cash in on him than right now. Obviously, I don't want to see him go this season. I had those thoughts last season where he won the Champions League. I said, you know what, man, this season he's going to hit a decline, and as a lot of players do, you know, he's ran a lot of miles, but now would be a good time to cash it. And even now, I feel it even more, you know. Imagine selling him now.
I honestly, I can't imagine that. I just can't, because he, like, man, like I've said, this is just is someone that should never ever be put on sale until maybe like mid-30s. But I do agree that maybe now is the time to like start phasing him out slowly.
Well, I feel like
Yeah.
that's the best part about him as a player and a person, right? Is that this season showed that he's willing to
He
accept that
doesn't
role.
mind being on the bench and coming
Yeah,
off and all that
and I
shit.
feel like whether that came from him or not, a huge credit has to go to Zidane for making that happen.
Yeah, both of them talked. He said both of them talked about it, and they agreed. So yeah, now is the time to start phasing him out. Cutting his matches down, so that way he doesn't have to play from Monday to Sunday and rinse and repeat, and then he's burned out and injured towards the crucial part of the season. Now is that time to start phasing him out slowly, and managing him well, and giving the other guys like more chances. That way they don't feel like they're never gonna play because somebody else is already gonna be there. So now is the time to start phasing him out, though, because he's 32. He has another maybe 3 years in him.
Yeah, at least another 2 or 3 seasons without any problem, you know.
Yeah,
Then I feel. Go
Keep
ahead.
going. I said, especially with how this season went, 40 goals at the age of 32, man. That's something like 98% of strikers, 99% of like players probably will never be able to put up in their 30s.
Yeah, Benzema, you know, fucking Benzema can't even.
Don't even go there. He can't even crack 30 in his 20s. or in his late 20s,
Yeah,
like he
it's
did in his early
ridiculous.
20s.
But I think that, considering we have, he has the Confederations Cup this week. It's a relatively short tournament. So he'll do the Confederations Cup. He'll probably get a break. I doubt he'll be at the
The Super Cup, definitely. I think he's already been ruled out of it officially.
and do we know if he's out of the Barcelona games as well?
The friendly, I
No,
think
the Spanish Super Cup.
Super Cup. I think he might be able to make that one, but I know for a fact he's not going to be in the UEFA Super Cup.
I think I might be wrong, but I think those 3 games, the game against Manchester United and the 2 against Barcelona, I think they're in like a 10-day window.
God.
So, yeah, so hopefully he sits those 3 games out, and we're able to use some of the depth. I'm hoping in all reality, man, until those 3 matches are played, I'm hoping that we hold on to as many players as we can. Because the preseason is going to be cool. It's going to be fun, whatever.
And players are going to be getting a lot of calls for transfers and yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we wait till the very last week or so to start shipping people out, because I think that for us to start the season off with 2 big trophies is going to be huge. It's going to be monumental for us. It's going to be a great way to start the season. And as excited as I am for this season, I want nothing more than to win those 2 trophies.
Mate, yeah, I want nothing more than to win those 2 trophies and just follow it up with another league title. And it'd be crazy if we win the Champions League again next season. But
yeah, dude,
I'm not trying to pile on the expectations and jinx anything for the club.
But naturally, you can't help but think about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at least the idea, we're improving more and more each year. At least the idea of a fucking treble. But imagine if we went 6 for 6.
If we won 5 in a row all over again, I'd like to hear about Franco this time.
yeah, they're gonna be like, who? No, but the idea of winning all 6 trophies this year. I mean, obviously, I would like a treble. I think you and I both agree. A team like Real Madrid deserves a treble. I mean, well, deserves has got nothing to do with it, but still, a team like Real Madrid should be able to challenge for the treble. But if we can win the treble, plus the Club World Cup, plus the UEFA Super Cup and the Spanish Super Cup, dude, that'll be fuck, man. I'm gonna come again.
Oh, just
shit.
that will be crazy, man. That will be crazy. And speaking of the trophies, this again, I just thought about it. The Gareth Bale and the Neymar comparisons. Man, Gareth Bale, despite his nonstop injuries, in my opinion, and I don't mean this to be biased, but look at the trophies, man. In my opinion, he has been the better deal.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like, I still stand by my statement. I feel like he won us our 10th Champions League. I feel like he was a huge contribution to that.
Crazy debut season, man.
I could even argue that he won it for us. I would come up with an argument for that. And the second Champions League, the 11th one that we won, he was a big player in that too.
Yeah, he was one of our best players in that final too. Yeah.
Yeah, and so Neymar, I know he has a Champions League with Barcelona. I know he has a league. I know he has a Copa del Rey.
All that good, yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, dude, I mean, fucking Perez knows his shit, dude. Perez knows his shit because Neymar, not to say that, he wouldn't have done well here. I mean, he would have done probably just as well as he's doing in Barcelona, maybe even better. But I can't complain when we have a player that I love, dude. Gareth Bale is the shit. It's just that eventually we reach that point where you have to look at the picture and say, you know what? If you're always injured, man, I mean, I'm glad that I have this backup, but there's no room for you on the team, and it's going to be up to Zidane or maybe even Florentino to make that call. But in the meantime, I mean, we have to stay fans, man. The dude is the shit. He can start anywhere else in the world, and fuck it, we have to be glad to have him.
We have to. All right, man. We're just gonna end this here today. Awesome. Thank you for coming in, man. Taking time out of your day to come in, bro.
Thank you for having me, dude.
All right, man. Peace.
Take care. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, folks. That's all for today. I'm out.